Okay, Reggie. Can you obviously there's like an infamous incident that happened at the 1995 Christmas party, um, mainly with Suge and Tupac, but I believe you had spoke before that Dre was involved. Can you tell me the story about what happened at that party, which ultimately led to you guys being sued and settlements and all that stuff?
Yeah, so yeah, I remember that incident real well. So what happened is Suge gave a nice Christmas party in the Hollywood Hills area, and he had all the artists there, and it was mainly for our family and staff and people that was doing work, the accounting firms and the lawyer office, and just people that was really close to Death Row and Suge and what he had going on. So he gave this big Christmas party. And he had the Whispers, because that was his mama's favorite, uh, one of his mother's favorite artists. Because a lot of the parties that was given, he had, when he came home from prison, he gave his mother Gladys Knight performance for a family reunion. And, of course, she loved my boy from damn, Ron Isley, the Isley brothers. So he came and performed at one of the Mother Day events. So we had the Whispers at this particular party, and and there was a guy that was there that worked the street team. I believe his name was Martha Anthony Bell, and if y'all know anything about street team guys, they work independent contractors, so they work for different labels, uh, and this guy named B-Man who kind of worked under Kevin Black. I don't know if Kevin was still there or not sure. But they ran the street teams for Death Row. And Kevin Black had got word to Suge that, hey, a guy, or I don't know how Suge found out that Mark Anthony Bell, uh, who works for Puffy real close for Bad Boy Street Team, was at the party. And y'all got to remember, guess what had just happened? Yeah, the old Biggie Small and all of that shooting at the trailer. And so, I told y'all, once that happened, Pac was on one about, that, because he took it as really that they only dissing Death Row, because we didn't know about the St. Ives commercial or song, right? That we talked about in a previous episode, or if not, y'all will be hearing about. Uh, so we thinking, and Pac took it as the only reason that they shooting and tripping on Death Row like this is because I'm over here now. And I've been hearing that these niggas had something to do with me getting shot and robbed. So they went and took Mark Anthony Bell upstairs. And that's where you always call Suge the P guy, where the incident where y'all heard about Suge forcing the guy to drink piss. So Mark Anthony Bell was the gentleman that was taken upstairs, and they were like, hey, where Puffy Mama live at? We hear Mama got a house out here, or Puffy got a location out here. Yeah. Or you know where it's at in New York. I forget the details on that. But they were sweating Mark Anthony Bell till I really believe it was just for loyalty, just to see whose side you on. Since you work for Bad Boys, what would you do? Would you give it up? Because Suge also play games like that. That's why we go back to the snowball incident and all of that. He hate dudes around you. And y'all always talk about cops and me calling people snitches and stuff like that. Keep telling you, niggas hate snitches. And so it could have been to see if Mark Anthony Bell was loyal, if he was snitch or what. Don't know. I'm just telling you there's incidents, because that's why the snowball incident happened with Mutal and Kendrick, because they consider that as being weak and snitching when you allow people to get things out of you from scare tactics. You're supposed to just take the beat down in their mind, or whatever happens. Well, I'll get back on track. And so Mark Anthony Bell. And so they were beating up on him, and Suge allegedly pissed in a cup and put up the cup of urine and was making him drink the urine and stuff. And so all of this is supposed to happen. There's a video up. We went into more details about it, of the assault. But the main thing that came out of the assault, what Death Row had to end up paying $600,000 for, where an employee of Death Row got sued for $200,000. Dr. Dre, who Mark Anthony Bell said also assaulted him during that time, had to pay $200,000. And Tupac Shakur had to pay $200,000 for a total of $600,000. The person that David Kenner, boy, I tell y'all that David Kenner is a bad motherfucker. But y'all got to remember he was on probation. And I don't know how they were able to put that on Tupac, to be honest. Because he was out on an appeal bond. Damn. Oh, that's interesting. Now thinking back on it. But who was conveniently left off because he was getting sweated by his probation officer regarding this incident, and the reason why they got $600,000. And I personally, me and David Kenner flew out to New York, and we met him in the lobby of the Four Seasons. For anybody associated to Mark Bell, you know, I'm speaking the real. And that's where he signed the agreement, and we delivered him a check for $600,000 to him and his attorneys. And so that's what happened. Our point, and the reason that we're bringing this up to say, yeah, Dre can say all of that he wants, that he was tired of the drama and all of that, which he might have been. But as we know from D. Barnes, and we know from other situations, while it was going down, and when little Dre had a little bit of alcohol in it, he was just as guilty as everybody else. Yeah, I mean, Dre double talks. Dre and Quick always tell y'all they really didn't like the drama when they were doing music, which most artists, which they were, they like that. They like to be creative. So it'd be hard for me to say that Dre really didn't like the drama, but Dre also brought a lot of drama as well. There's been several incidents. I told y'all once about how Dre was getting sweated at Cal State Dominguez, and some dudes were pressing on him, and then he called Suge. Suge came up there, had to save the day for Dre. You know, we know of how he did D. Barnes and the allegations that Michelet has made, and I can tell you plenty of situations where Dre have assaulted females. I mean, there's another quasi transgender or whatever. This dude named David Thomas that was married to Kim Kardashian. They call him Underdog, or he got another name. I forget the name he go under. But how he, got the shit slapped out of him and sued Dre, and we had to settle that settlement. So Dre likes to put it out there like he didn't like the atmosphere that was going around. So that's him picking and choosing what he want to take. Him driving down Sunset drunk and getting arrested, and so Dre had his issues. Dre was on probation and house arrest a lot of the time, and doing the Dog Pound album, and that's why it took so long for the Dog Pound album to come out and stuff like that, because Dre has a lot of legal issues going on. But Dre was young, and Dre has been making money or popular for a long time. If you think about it, Dre has been hitting home runs since about 1989, 1990, as far as being popular. And even if he didn't have a lot of money in the bank account or whatever, he always knew he would be able to go and make a bag. And so, that's what happened. I think I know where you're going with the question. I think it's more to say that Dre's not as perfect as an angel as he wanted to put it out to be, which none of us are, especially when you're as young as we were at the time. But Dre, I can't say, was a different Compton dude. Let me just say that. He was different. As far as wanting to have drama, then don't want drama, and go and have drama, then ride and tuck and hide his head from the drama. And so I think that was Dre's issue, to be honest. I don't be honest. I always kind of liked Dre, even though he had issues. I like a lot of people. A lot of them had issues, you know. But Dre was no angel. Dre had alcohol issues back then, and Dre was abusive to women. And back then, why, I don't know. Even his latest wife has made those accusations during their divorce proceedings. So it's obviously he hasn't learned from them. But hey, who doesn't have them? Who don't have those issues? For the most part, you know, you generally have to grow out of things like that, in my opinion, or from my experience. And you know, financially, who can hate on Dre? But would you have your kid or your grandson or granddaughter saying they living out of an automobile? Not me. Even if I can't deal with my kid, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure my grandkid is good. I'm going to get rid of, if I have to take her to court because she can't act right. I understand being disrespectful, especially when you're adults. But I can tell y'all, Dre's son with Michelet, Marcellus, he didn't start dealing. He didn't have any interactions other than child support, $5,000 a month, which was nothing back then, other than $5,000 a month. I hear that he's playing a part in Marcellus' life now, but I know of 4 to 5 of Dre kids that he didn't have or don't have any relationship with. When I'm saying that, that was during the time when one of his kids passed away, because Suge and I was dealing with a son and a daughter, the ones, I forget their names, but the ones that have the same mother and father, that's a son and a daughter at that time. So they'd be about 30, 32, 34 right now. And they was telling us that Dre still didn't have any involvement in their lives. And they were good kids. They wasn't ones that was out there bad-mouthing him or talking bad about him. So I go to say all of that to say, just because you have financial health, but you don't have love, and you don't have enough love to worry about your blood, your family, your kids, to me, you're a scumbag. I understand cutting off a kid when they're 18, 19, 20, 22, when they just disrespectful. But just because the bitch you with or the female you with at the time don't want nothing to deal with those kids, fuck you, nigga, you's a dirtbag. Whoever is in the comment section that don't agree, then that's because you a deadbeat. You sorry. You need to evaluate yourself. Now, kids being disrespectful, you don't have to tolerate once they're adults and stuff like that. But you got to be the bigger person and make that effort.